of the Council of the Town of Oakville, the last meeting of this term. We have regrets from Councillor Mark Grant, and everybody else is here. I would invite everybody to join Council in O Canada. Thank you, everybody. Please be seated. In 1820, Indigenous people here began welcoming settlers from all over the empire. Soon, they were helping slaves escaping from the United States to settle here too. Today, our Indigenous founding partners are still here enjoying this land with us. They fish and camp under their treaty rights. Indigenous people in their thousands also live with us as neighbors and friends. Our Indigenous, white, and Black settlers created a community with an attractive degree of harmony and prosperity. In 1857, Ontario gave official recognition of Oakville as a town. At Town Hall, all of these years later, we fly the flag of the Mississaugas of the Credit beside the flags of Oakville, Ontario, and Canada. We fly these flags together to acknowledge our origins. People from all over the world are attracted to the livability we have created here. We offer newcomers a warm spirit of welcome. We offer everyone our founding story so that everyone knows what we are part of. We feel sorrow and distress for acts of racism and intolerance suffered too often across Canada and here at home. We want our future to be equitable and inclusive for all. The path of truth and reconciliation can unite us all. Please keep well, stay safe, and let us on Council know of any chance to be helpful to you and yours. Please let us know anytime you can help increase Oakville's harmony, prosperity, and livability. Madam Clerk, I'm going to ask if there are any declarations of pecuniary interest, but considering the lightness of the agenda, I'm not expecting any. And I'm not disappointed. Thank you, everybody. I call your attention, Council, to the need to confirm or change, if you wish, the minutes of the previous Council meetings. And there's only the one of October the 11th. Are there any changes? Is there a motion to accept? Councillor Dudek and a seconder from Councillor Longo. Thank you. Is there any objection to the motion? There being none, I declare the motion carried. Now, Council, we could resolve into committee of the whole if two of us want to do that. Either way, we're going to conduct the business. Councillor Sanju and Councillor Palmer, thank you. Any objection? There being none, that carries, and we're now resolved into committee of the whole. We have no consent items, public or confidential, and we do have a set of discussion items, 3 of them. The first is the removal of CHL status at 14, that's the heritage listing status, for 1475 Lakeshore Road East. And the motion is that the property be removed from any future implementation of the Cultural Heritage Landscape Strategy, and that notice be issued under subsection 30.1 sub 3 of the Ontario Heritage Act to amend bylaw 1991-48 a bylaw to designate 1475 Lakeshore Road East as a property of historical, architectural, and contextual value and interest. Is there a mover for that? Councillor Dudek, thank you. In committee of the whole, we don't need a seconder, so I'll ask if there's any discussion. Is there any objection to the motion? Madam Clerk, there being no discussion and no objection, that's carried. The next item before us is the notice of intention to demolish 1297 Dundas Street East. And in this case, the owner of 1297 Dundas Street East will enter into a heritage easement agreement with the town to salvage and store materials from the Turner Farm barn and house to be used in new commemorative features within the site in conformity with this report and with the agreement to be in form and content satisfactory to the town solicitor and the Director of Planning Services or their designate. And second, that the heritage easement agreements will be executed prior to the issuance of a building permit for demolition of the Turner Farm barn and house structures. And third, that the new commemorative features be protected in perpetuity through either a heritage easement agreement or through a designation bylaw under Part 4 of the Ontario Heritage Act. And I'll ask if there's discussion or a motion. Councillor Adams.
Be happy to move the recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Adams. Is there any objection to the motion? Madam Clerk, there being none, I declare the motion carried. Thank you, everybody. Our final discussion item is the notice of intention to demolish 1044 Argyle Drive. The first part of this is that the property at 1044 Argyle be removed from the Oakville Register of Properties of Cultural Heritage Value or Interest. And second, that prior to demolition, the property owner allow for the salvage of materials from the house. Discussion or a motion? Councillor Chisholm. Councillor Chisholm moves the staff recommendation. Any objection? There being none, that carries. Thank you, Councillor Chisholm. That brings us now to the advisory committee minutes, and we have the minutes of the Heritage Oakville Advisory Committee. And the following recommendation pertaining to items 4.1 and 4.2 of the Heritage Oakville Advisory Committee minutes from its meeting on October 18th are to be approved and the remainder of the minutes to be received. 4.1 is a heritage permit application at 68-70 Navy Street concerning revisions to a rear addition. Notwithstanding the staff recommendation, it was moved that the heritage permit application for revisions to the rear addition at 68-70 Navy Street, as attached in Appendix B to the report dated October 11th from Planning Services, including the revised drawings that were submitted at the meeting by the applicant, be denied. And 4.2 is that the heritage permit application for the replacement of the rear addition and detached garage and alterations to the existing house at 415 Trafalgar Road, as attached in Appendix B to the report dated October 11th from Planning Services, be approved, subject to the following: that the final details on the cladding, windows, and doors be submitted to Heritage Planning staff for final approval, and that this heritage permit expire 2 years from the date of final approval by council. May I have a motion? Councillor Giddings, thank you. Is there any objection to Councillor Giddings' motion? Madam Clerk, there being no objection, Councillor Giddings' motion carries.
Speak. Yeah, thank you very much. It doesn't change the voting at all. Just wanted to thank the residents that have joined us from the OLRA as concerned neighbors that were here in support of the motion as just passed.
Thank you. I know many of them, and I know they're all capable of following what you just did. All right. Council, it would now be in order to rise and report to council, and I'll look to Councillor Robertson for this motion. Thank you, Councillor Robertson. Is there any objection? See, I'm getting each of you into the minutes here. Is there any objection to Councillor Robertson's motion? There being none, that motion carries. And I rise and report that the Committee of the Whole has met and made recommendations on discussion items 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, and advisory committee minutes 11.1, as noted by the clerk. It would now be in order for a mover and seconder for this report. Councillor Sanju and, where is she? Councillor Palmer, thank you. Is there any objection? Madam Clerk, there being no objection, the report is approved and adopted. Council, I'm going to bring us now to, I'm going to skip over new business and we'll finish the meeting with new business for reasons that you'll see in a second. Let's turn to the request for report from Councillor Grant and Councillor Robertson. Councillor Grant not being here, we'll have a motion by Councillor Dudek to replace Councillor Grant, and this will be seconded. Or actually, why don't we promote Councillor Robertson to mover? And would Councillor Sanju or Councillor Palmer like to be the seconder? Councillor Sanju has volunteered. This is that staff report to council on opportunities to allow sports activities, i.e. road hockey, basketball, or similar activities, to take place on local residential streets in Oakville, and that the report identify any bylaw amendments or other changes that would be required to allow for these activities to happen. Council, is there any objection to this request for report? There being none, it's adopted, and the report will issue eventually as soon as staff can get to it. So now, I'd like to conduct a little new business, but before I do, let me see if anybody else wants to do some new business. Councillor Sanju, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor Burton. It's not particularly new business, but perhaps old business. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank my council colleagues for the last 4 years, your excellent service on council in serving the community, and also a big, huge thank you to staff for enabling us to do the work that we've done over the last 4 years. Without their support, I'm sure all of us would say that we weren't able to do any of the things that we've done over the last 4 years. So I really wanted to say thank you. An extra special shout out to a couple of people here on council, my ward mate, who's been excellent to serve with over the last 4 years, Councillor Knoll for being an excellent mentor to me, and also Mayor Burton. That doesn't negate anybody else's hard work, and I appreciate their time as well, but those are just a few that I wanted to call out very quickly. Thank you again.
Thank you, Councillor Sanju. Councillor Palmer.
Thank you, Your Worship. I also want to take the opportunity to thank everybody at the table for an amazing 4 years. It's been such a pleasure to serve with all of you and to deliver positive results to the residents of Oakville, especially during, an unprecedented time with the pandemic. So I'm grateful for that. And yes, thank you to our staff who don't get thanked enough for all the work they do behind the scenes in supporting this council and our community. And lastly, thank you to the residents for supporting me professionally and through my personal journey in the last few years. It's just been a true honor to serve on this council, and I look forward to staying committed and continuing to serve our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Palmer. Councillor Robertson?
I'd like to also reiterate what both of them put so well. And I want to thank Sean, because Sean has been such a great mentor and a source of responsible advocacy for Ward 1. I think I learned so much from him, and the staff, they all know how much I admire each of them. And so this is a very bittersweet ending, because I really, really love this job. And so I will stay committed, and I will stay part of this group and this community. And thank you ever so much.
Thank you, Councillor Robertson. On behalf of all of council, I want to extend my thanks for your service, and also my congratulations for the style and grace with which you provided your service to your constituents. In your 4 years on council, Councillor Robertson, you have certainly left your mark. As a member of several committees over the years, I've witnessed your true commitment and your passion for your community. Those commitments will continue to shine over the years in the future, I have no doubt. Having been elected in 2018, with degrees from both the University of Windsor and Queen's University. I know that you were a proven community activist and environmentalist before joining us on council. And I also know that Humber College recognized you as, they gave you the greatest high school teacher award after serving as the department head of Canadian and World Studies at St. Thomas Aquinas High School. And it's a mark of how modest you are that I think this is news to most of the members on council, because I had to dig to find that out about you. Oakville's been your home and where you raised your 3 children since 1988. We want to thank them for lending you to us during your time on council. Your commitment to staying focused and committed has never been challenged. As a result of Tim's passing, you remain committed to volunteering for ALS Canada. With only 4 years of experience, you facilitated many improvements, including the creation of a brand new Bronte Market Square, the cleanup of South Shell Park, the rejuvenation of the waterfront promenade, and increased pedestrian safety. We want to give you a small token of appreciation on behalf of our town and council. And what we're going to do is, when I conclude the parallel remarks that I have for the other two, we'll gather in front and I'll present each of you with your small tokens. And I guess I should let the cat out of the bag. None of them are exactly small, so we'll need all the room out there. And now I turn to Councillor Sandu. With her experience as a lawyer with Toronto Dominion Bank and as a business leader in Oakville, Councillor Jasvinder Sandu brought a business perspective to council. Councillor Sandu, I want you to know that as a lifelong customer of that bank, you did nothing to dissuade me from continuing to be a customer with them. You were very impressive. You've been involved in all our community, both politically and as a volunteer. The anecdotes you've shared with us on the side have always been enjoyable, as you've had a lot of business experience to share. Despite serving only 1 term on council, Councillor Sandu has done a wonderful job representing the residents of Ward 7. The following are just a few of her accomplishments: expanding the 16-mile sports complex, assisting the town with the installation of pipes for additional schools in the area, being elected chair of the Association of Municipalities of Ontario's Youth Engagement Advisory Council, being elected chair of the Appeals Committee here at Town Council, having promoted the construction of better-built homes in the province, organizing the Ward 7 Halloween kickoffs and parades, developing a basketball drop-in program with King's Community Church, and starting the Ward 7 internship program with local high school students. As Councillor Sandu transitions to focus on her private law practice right here in Oakville and dedicate more time and energy to her growing family, we all wish her every success and are grateful to you for the time that you gave us and that your family allowed you to give us. And in a moment, I hope you'll also join us in front. For Councillor Pavan Palmer, it's been 4 years since Ward 7 residents elected Pavan Palmer as their town and regional council. Pavan is a lifelong Oakville resident with a Bachelor of Commerce degree and an MBA degree from Ryerson University's Ted Rogers School of Business. Councillor Palmer put her skills to good use before joining the Town of Oakville Council. With more than 10 years of citizenship and immigration law experience, she worked as a consultant for an international consulting firm, BDO Canada. In addition to providing strategic advice to C-suite personnel, business owners, entrepreneurs, and investors, she was also a valuable resource for our organization. Since joining us, she's worked with the school board, regional police, all levels of government, town and regional staff on behalf of residents and businesses to ensure they have the facilities, services, and representation they need in Ward 7. I think it was a very impressive performance by Councillor Palmer. I think one way of underlining how impressive she has been as a counselor is to point out that the regional council, which is composed of 24 votes from all across the region of Halton, appointed Councillor Palmer to the Halton Regional Police Service Board, where she joined Councillor Knoll, who is the chair. There will be a brand-new community center in Ward 7 that includes a gym and pool, a new library, outdoor sports fields, playgrounds, a splash pad, and more that is still in the works as a result of the work of Councillor Palmer and her Ward 7 colleague, Councillor Sanju. As Oakville's newest ward, much remains to be accomplished. While many of the residential areas are new, Councillor Palmer's primary focus has been the construction and completion of outdoor amenities and the improvement of community safety. There'll be more crosswalks, safety driving zones, crossing guards, and automatic speed enforcement there, thanks to her and her colleague, Councillor Sanju. Councillor Palmer worked closely with our police service to advocate for programs aimed at reducing speeding, stunt driving, excess noise, and improving road safety. Councillor Palmer, you've nurtured Ward 7 into the powerhouse that it will be, with a growing population, expanded facilities, parks, trails, and new schools. We thank you for the sacrifices you made to your family and friends on behalf of the town and the level of work that it requires. I'd now like you and the other two to join me in front for the presentation, which may perhaps be a little bit off mic, but I think when you see what they are, you won't need words. Just pictures.
It's a pony.
And the tree bearers are going to present each of you with a red oak. Well done. So we have this one. If you need assistance, the boys will come and give you. Oh, yeah, sorry. It works out good.
It's a request from.
Okay, now, back up a little bit. So now, open, please open them. And then I'm going to step out of the way so you can display what you got. And they're two-sided.
Yeah.
Wait, sir, you should go in the middle. Mayor Burton, you should go in the middle. Oh, yes.
There you are, ladies and gentlemen.
Amazing.
Hold on, turn it the other way. Turn it one more, because.
Oh, yeah, the wards?
Okay, now switch.
Awesome.
One more, one more. Lift up yours to me.
Check the eyes.
Pictures in there, like I said. Take a pic.
You can just know one of the trees, like it could be growing.
Okay, we just have one little thing left to do. So to put a cap on that, I want to say that in 2 weeks, on the 21st of November, we will be welcoming 3 new members to the new term of council, and I have no doubt that they will rise to the example set by their predecessors and become valuable and cherished members of council in the time-honored tradition that this town has always enjoyed. We've had renewal just about every term of council that I've been on anyway, and it all works out for the best. Now, I want to ask for one final official thing. We need 2 people to move. I have volunteers in mind, that the bylaws be considered read and passed, and that would be the bylaw to designate the 16 school at 2477 Fourth Line as a property of cultural heritage value or interest, and the confirmatory bylaw 2022-121. And I accept a motion from Councillor Sanju and Councillor Robertson, unless anyone wants to correct me. You do have that privilege. All right, there being no objection, is there any objection to the motion? There being no motion, the bylaws are considered read and passed, and that ends the work of this council meeting, and indeed of this council for this term. Thank you, everybody. You've been terrific to work with, and I look forward to working with everybody on council in the next term in only a few short days. Good night.